Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be unboxing my brand new M2 MacBook Air in the midnight color, as well as my brand new iPad Air. I got these both from the Apple Store just a few days ago, and we'll start off with my MacBook. This is the midnight color with 8 GB of RAM and 256 GB of SSD. First is probably the most satisfying part of this entire unboxing, which is pulling off that plastic. As you can see here, the plastic comes off very easily, and this is something Apple has done with all of their products. They've put plastic around their iPhone boxes, their MacBook boxes, iPads, AirPods, etc. And once that plastic is off, you'll notice that the box is actually open now, so you can start lifting it up. Now make sure the MacBook is on a flat surface because you want to be pulling it off the top. As you can see, the MacBook was in the air for a while, so make sure you have a flat surface. Once you open up the MacBook, you'll see the MacBook on the top. It is covered in this plastic and covering, and you can easily peel it off, but I will start with just putting the Mac on the side and showing you the inside. So when you open up the box, the first thing you'll see is the brand new charger and the documentation provided. So this here, the charger is brand new. It is the MagSafe to USB Type-C, which was on the older MacBooks. And in fact, your charger now matches with the color of your MacBook. So that's new for Apple. And the charger magnetically clips in, so there's no need to press it in, it just magnetically clips on. Also in the box, you will find your Apple documentation, which includes just some paperwork about how to use the MacBook, what the MacBook's about, and how to use the keyboard, where things are, etc. And of course, you get your 2 Apple stickers, which this year match the color of your MacBook. Also in the box comes the 30-watt power adapter, which is the base power adapter with the MacBook. You can upgrade to the dual 30-watt power adapter, which comes with 2 USB-C ports, but I opted for one as I only needed to charge one device at a time. Also, it's worth mentioning that I did receive a $200 Apple gift card with my MacBook purchase because I am a university student and they have a promotion right now going on. So now let's move on to the MacBook Unveiling. So the MacBook is closed in a thin plastic film around it, and it is worth mentioning that the MacBook is very fingerprint sensitive. I just touched the MacBook for the first time and I noticed on the bottom there were fingerprints everywhere. So on the left side, you'll find 2 USB-C ports as well as your charging MagSafe port, and on the right side, you will find the headphone jack. So now let's open up the MacBook and let's pretend that the film stayed on so that this wasn't a big fail. But as soon as you open the MacBook will power on by itself and you'll hear the traditional Apple boot up noise. So taking a look at the new design, I really love the notch and I think the screen is crystal clear. On the left side, we of course have our MagSafe charging port and our 2 USB Type-Cs. And on the right side, we have our headphone jack. Something we're fairly used to is the Magic Keyboard, which hasn't changed much since the last generation except for the Touch ID sensor. One thing I noticed right off the bat was that the MacBook collects a lot of dust on its screen, so avoid touching the screen with your fingers or buy the Apple cloth or microfiber cloth to clean. This year, Apple has put a film on their screen which limits the amount of reflection, so that's perfect if you're working outside or working in bright sunlight as I'm filming here. I'll just show you the basic setup. You start with selecting your language, and then the MacBook will prompt you to select a region, in which I am in Canada. And then the MacBook will prompt you to choose any accessibility settings if you require them, such as vision, motor, hearing, or cognitive. And then it'll ask you to select your Wi-Fi network, so I will go ahead and do that for you. So Apple has Migration Assistant, which is very helpful for transferring all your data from another Mac or a Windows computer. But in this case, I don't want to transfer anything back, so I'll just click Not Now. And then it's prompting to sign with my Apple ID, so I'll go and do that. So that's the end of the setup. Now you're ready to use your computer, and it's time to move on from our Mac to my brand new iPad Air 5th generation. So here is my brand new iPad Air bag, and I got it the exact same day as my MacBook, so I also got the iPad on educational discount. So the iPad was $70 off its retail price, and I also received a $150 gift card on top. This is the 64GB model, and it is in the color blue. No fancy names here. And it has Wi-Fi, not cellular. So you'll notice that the peel tab on the iPad Air and the MacBook are the exact same. And in fact, Apple's entire lineup has the exact same plastic covering over all their products. As you can see here, sometimes Apple vacuum seals their seals too tight, so I had struggles with opening this one. And make sure the iPad is on a flat surface, because once you peel off this plastic, the box will slide right off. Now I'll go ahead and pry off the lid, which is quite hard to take off. Make sure your surface is flat. And as you can see, the first thing you'll see is the plastic covered iPad, which is the exact same film as on the Mac. So once you find the pull cover and you pull it up out of the box, you'll notice that underneath the iPad, you have your USB Type-C to Type-C charger, which is found on all iPads across the line. And alongside the charger, you'll find the 20-watt power adapter. And of course, we have our Apple documentation inside every box which Apple sells. So here we have the iPad Air documentation, which just covers some simple buttons. And of course, since we're in Canada, we have instructions in both English and in French. And obviously, the language may differ in which country you are watching this from. And alongside, they give you some terms and conditions, some privacy information, and some energy information, as well as 2 Apple stickers, which do not match the color of the iPad, which is strange. So now we're going to actually unveil the iPad and take off its protective film. My apologies that the top of the video is cut off, but I will show you the entire iPad later on. So one thing I did notice right off the bat was that the iPad alongside the MacBook is very fingerprint sensitive. So if you are planning on placing a screen protector, then do it right away, as it is very sensitive. So on this side, you have your volume up and down buttons, and on the top you have your power button, which has your built-in Touch ID and your speakers, of course. This is the full back side of the iPad in the sun, which shows off its blue color. It's also worth mentioning that I received a $150 gift card for my iPad purchase as well as $70 off the base price due to educational discounts going on in the month of August and September. One thing I did notice is that Apple did not put the same film as on the MacBook, which prevents any sort of glare. So as you can see in the sun here, the iPad screen does get a little bit shun out. So the iPad is fairly similar to the MacBook in terms of setting it up. It'll prompt you to set up your Touch ID, your Apple ID, and other privacy information that they ask for. So that concludes the entire unboxing. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel and be sure to click that bell notification, because I will be reviewing both of these products. See you guys again in a later video.